Hello folks, today I am going to show you how to automate your VMware virtual machine guest disk monitoring using a PowerShell script, and this should only take you about 2 minutes. If you found yourself watching this video, you probably already know that hard drives filling is a prevalent cause of service and system failure. In a virtual environment with a little bit of coding, you can now monitor all of your virtual machine guest disks with a single command just by writing a little script. Now, this is not an original idea. When I decided to first do this 10 years ago, I quickly learned that many people had already sorted this out. But what I wanted to provide was a portable script that you can make minor edits to and run it on a Mac or a PC and get instant access to all of the guest disk usage of all of your virtual machines in your VMware environment with a single command. All you will need to get started is a Mac or a PC with PowerShell 7 installed. If you do not have PowerShell installed yet, I would recommend pausing this video and installing PowerShell now. But don't worry, it is a free download from Microsoft. You will also need network access to your ESXi host or vCenter server. And to get started, you will need to download the free script. There is a link on the screen. It is also in the description of this video on YouTube. You'll see this is hosted in Google Drive. It's going to tell you that it cannot scan it for viruses, but that's okay. I promise you there's nothing in this script that will harm your computer. I'm going to open up Sublime Text and make a quick minor edit to this script. This is the part you will need to do for it to work in your environment. The only section you really need to concern yourself is this section I have labeled Update the following variables for your environment. Feel free to check out the rest of the script as well, but this is the only part where you would need to make any changes. And the first being host address variable needs to be set to an IP address or a domain name of an ESXi host or vCenter server. So for my purposes, I'm going to set this to vcenter.trabanttech.com, which is the lab vCenter server I set up for script development. You can also add the information to automate sending emails. If you were to execute this script with the email settings in there, it will send you an email with the report in it. It is really convenient to do that if you want to run this as a scheduled task in Windows or as a scheduled task using Automator on a Mac. But there's also a way to run it without email, just to run the script and get a report, and that's what we're going to do during this video. So I will save this after my one minor change, and now I will go over to Terminal. If you've never used PowerShell on the machine you're on, you may be prompted that you need to enable script execution, but the PowerShell helper will point you in the right direction on how to do that. Also, if you've never used the VMware PowerCLI module before, you may be prompted to participate in their customer experience improvement program. That choice is yours. And if you don't have the VMware PowerCLI module yet, this script will install it for you. It will also add a little bit of time on the first run of the script. So I know that script is in my downloads folder. I'm already in my downloads folder in Terminal. I'm going to type pwsh, which is the same command for PowerShell on both Mac and PC. And I remember this starting with VMW, and there we go, VMware guest disk usage.ps1. So pwsh space title of the file, VMware guest disk usage.ps1. And then since I want to run it without email, space dash no email. Hit enter. It checks to see if the module exists. It says it does, so it will proceed. Now it's trying to access credentials to your target host. The first time you run the script, you will be asked to enter your username and password, but from that point on, those credentials will be saved, and this script will be able to access them even when it is ran as a scheduled task. It will save it in an encrypted format in your user folder. Like many people, I'm going to use administrator at vsphere.local. In a production environment at a former employer, what I would do there is I would create a read-only user in vCenter and use that for anything I was developing scripts for. But for this instance, I'm just going to be using the default administrator at vSphere.local user. And then the password for that user. And now you see it is attempting to connect to vCenter server. It did. It's gathering information. If it were to fail at the connection point, the script would error out and tell you that it had a problem. All right, now on the right side of the screen, actually let's go full screen with that. You'll see the report that was generated by that single command. There's a table format at the top via virtual machine guest disk usage sorted by available disk space. It is exactly what it says. It goes in, looks at all of my virtual machines, looks at all of their guest disks, and then sorts this in a table by how much space is remaining on the drive. You'll see all of my virtual machines in this lab environment are in good shape. I have 43% remaining space on the drive that is filled the most, so that's in great shape. In the bottom, you'll see I have a virtual machine guest disk usage sorted by virtual machine table. So that's so if you want to take a quick look at any individual virtual machine and all of their drives without having to go through that list of sorted by free space. So it's just that easy. You make one minor edit to your script. Again, you can add those email variables in there if you want to run it as a scheduled task, whether it's once a week or once a day if you want to try to spot trends. Sometimes disks start filling and then fill quite rapidly when there's a problem. Running this as a scheduled task with emailed reports is a very valuable tool you can have in your toolbox. I hope this video was useful, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on YouTube. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.